Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrinda Devi Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrinda Devi Tulsi Maharani ki Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Public Terasata Shri Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Jai Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanath Shai Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Navdeep Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 59. We'll do verses 33 and 34 today. Tatra Rajanya Kanyanam Shat Sahasradikayatam Boma Ritanam Vikramya Rajabhyo Dadrishe Hari Tatra Rajanya Kanyanam Satsahasradikayatam Bhaumaritanam Vikramya Rajabhyo Dadrishe Hari Tatra Rajanya Kanyanam Shatsaha Boma Ritanam Vikramya Rajabhyo Dadrishe Hari Maritanam Kanyanam Satsasa Bhaumaritanam Vikramya Rajabhyo Dadrishe Hari Tatra Rajanya Kanyanam Satsasatikayatam Bhaumaritanam Vikramya Rajabhyo Dadrishe Hari Tatra, there, Rajanya, of the royal order, Kanyanam, of maidens, Shatsahasra, 6,000, Adhika, more than, Ayutam, 10,000, Bauma, by Bauma, Aritanam, taken, Vikramya, by force, Rajabhya, from the kings, Dadrishe, Sa, Harihi, Lord Krishna. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada's disciples. There Lord Krishna saw 16,000 royal maidens whom Bauma had taken by force from various kings. Please repeat. There Lord Krishna saw 16,000 royal maidens whom Bauma had taken by force from various kings. Purport. Sridhar Swami provides evidence from the sage Parshara, as quoted in the Vishnu Purana, to the effect that there were actually 16,100 royal maidens imprisoned in Bauma's palace. Kanyapure Sakanyanam Shoda Shatpulya Vikrama Shatadikani Dadrishe Sahasrani Mahamate. Within the maidens' quarters O wise one, that Lord of unequal prowess found 16,100 princesses. Another relevant verse from the Vishnu Purana is as follows: Deva Siddha Suradinam Nirpanam Cha Janardana Ritva Hi So Surakanya Ruroda Nija Mandire. The demon Baumasura kidnapped the unmarried daughters of demigods, siddhas, asuras, and kings, O Janardhan, and imprisoned them in his palace. He was equally taking from everybody, from demigods, siddhas, asuras, and kings. Jiva Goswami writes, one line, one sentence purport: the princesses had been taken by force from various kings. And Sanatana Goswami, one sentence also, Hari indicates that he was attractive to the princesses. Text number 34. Tam pravishtam striyo viksha naravaryam vimohita manasa vavire bishtam patim daivo pasaditam. The women became enchanted when they saw that most excellent of males enter. In their minds, they each accepted him who had been brought there by destiny as their chosen husband. And the tikas, there's only one tika, it's by Jiva Goswami. Seeing him directly, Viksha, the women were bewildered by the Lord. He was completely desired, abhishtam, desired for a long time. He was rare to achieve, but they achieved him by previous bhakti, daivo pasaditam. They accepted him as their husband. Nivasantyo yatad devya Sukinya Kama Varjita Parivar Vyor Mahabahum Ekaveni Darastriya Sarva Kashaya Vasinya Sarvascha Niyatendriya Ratopavasa Tatvagya Kankshantya Krishna Darshanam. The women living there, devoid of material desire, wearing single braids, accepted Krishna in joy. They were all wearing soiled garments, controlling their senses, practicing vows and fasting, knowing the truth. They desired to see Krishna. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananganan Shalakaya Shaksha Unmitangena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastai Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namani. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nirvasesa Shunyavadi Praschadeshtarni Vanchakalpa Charubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Translations again. First one. There Lord Krishna saw 16,000 royal maidens whom Bhauma had taken by force from various kings. The women became enchanted when they saw that most excellent of males enter. In their minds, they each accepted him who had been brought there by destiny as their chosen husband. What a situation these young maidens found themselves in, practically speaking. Entrapped by this big demon Baumasura, who had taken them from so many different places. Even the demigods' daughters were kidnapped. And this is, they were in a situation which seemed beyond all hope, because how could they escape this terrible person who had imprisoned them? And although it doesn't say that they were actually violated, they even if they were just there, their lives were ruined, because in the Vedic culture, because they were taken by another man, they no longer would be able to even find a husband. So their lives were really destitute. It was a difficult situation. But only Krishna, he can solve this problem, because Krishna, he's beyond the modes of material nature, and he's beyond society norms. He is capable of bringing everyone into his grace or his mercy. So when Krishna saw these royal maidens, he didn't hesitate, but he entered the quarters, and they became, as it said, enchanted when they saw him, because they had been meditating upon Krishna for a very long time. And actually, it states here in Jiva Goswami's Tika, he was completely desired for a long time. He was rare to achieve, but they achieved him by previous bhakti. They accepted him as their husband. Bhagavad Gita speaks about this in chapter 7, verse number 28, which states, Yesham twanta gatam papam, jananam punya karmanam, te dvanva moha nirmukta, bhajante mam drida vrata. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. Prabhupada writes in his purport here, those eligible for elevation to the transcendental position are mentioned in this verse. Only those who have passed their lives in practicing the regulative principles of religion, who have acted piously, and who have conquered sinful reactions can accept devotional service and gradually rise to the pure knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is important to understand. Sometimes we see devotees who come to the movement and they're just off and they're running and they become great devotees, because it's to be understood that they've practiced in their previous lives Krishna consciousness. It should be understood that practically all of us have had some connection with Krishna consciousness in a previous life. And when we see someone who comes, who's unsteady, who's having some attraction, but at the same time having trouble even, following any of the process, we should understand that they probably have not had so much experience in a previous life. But they are attracted to Krishna, and they are a devotee. So anyone who comes to Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya said, who's a Vaishnava, anyone who's chanted, we should always have respect for every Vaishnava and really treat everyone who's a devotee, even those who aren't devotees, because everyone's a potential devotee, with kindness and love, not with some sort of derision or fault finding. That doesn't mean we can't, eliminate bad elements from our association. We shouldn't associate with persons who are sense gratifiers or are bad association, but we should well wish everyone and give everyone an opportunity to hear and chant about Krishna, because this is actually the process of Krishna consciousness. As Prabhupada actually refers to verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the purport to Bhagavad Gita 7:28, verse 5 of verse 2 of the 5th chapter of the 5th canto. And it's a famous verse Mahat sevam dwaram ahur vimuktes tamo dwaram yoshitam sangi sangam mahantaste sama chitta prashanta vimanyava surida sadavoye. One can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. These personalities are impersonalists and devotees. Whether one wants to merge into the Lord's existence or one wants to associate with the personality of Godhead, one should render service to the Mahatmas. For those who are not interested in such activities, who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path to hell is wide open. The Mahatmas are equipoised. They do not see any difference between one living entity and another. They are very peaceful and are fully engaged in devotional service. They are devoid of anger, and they work for the benefit of everyone. They do not behave in any abominable way. Such persons are known as Mahatmas. So, what is it, a Mahatma? Prabhupada's a Mahatma. Equipoised, seeing no difference between one living entity and another. Prabhupada's first place in America was like one of the most ugly places you could be, in New York, in the Bowery, with bums and garbage and just, an awful place. And then the people coming to surrender to him were, Prabhupada would say, out of order. Hippies who took drugs, had illicit sex, just not the kind of person you would expect to surrender to Krishna. But Prabhupada didn't see. And one of Prabhupada's godbrothers, it was Sridhar Maharaj. He said, "I couldn't have done what you did." And Sridhar Maharaj is a very exalted soul, very, very advanced. Lived with Prabhupada for 6 years at one point when Prabhupada was a householder that had Sridhar Maharaj living in his home. But he said, "I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have associated with the people that you associated with and made them devotees." And he's a pure devotee. But Prabhupada was a special pure devotee. He was a pure devotee who could actually enter into hell, practically speaking, and make devotees. And he's peaceful, always engaged in devotional service, devoid of anger. Prabhupada got angry, but he wasn't angry for things about his own sense gratification. He was angry when he saw that Krishna was not being served properly, or that his movement was not being properly managed, because he knew that this Krishna consciousness, this movement actually of disseminating Vedic understanding, or more than Vedic understanding, but pure devotional service, was absolutely necessary for this world. So therefore, association with the Mahatma is absolutely necessary. Now these princesses, can I get some water? These princesses, they didn't have any association, but they immediately got the association of Krishna because they had been meditating upon Krishna for all this time. So when Krishna comes into their association, that immediately their bhakti sprouts and becomes fruitful. So we would also like to see that our bhakti becomes fruitful. Thank you very much. And that we can become situated nicely in Krishna consciousness. Yesterday, Maharaj was speaking about the importance of humility, and that dainya, humility, is synonymous with prem, pure love. And dainya and humility and being synonymous with pure love, we have to understand that if we carry any conception of ourselves as being something great or something important or something super unimportant, like that, like depression, which is thinking that, oh, I'm so sad because everything hasn't gone my way or whatever, then we can't actually enter into pure love of God. But it's also important to understand that this daina, humility, has to follow us all the way through the process of devotional service. The first stage of devotional service is shraddha, some faith that there's something beyond this material world to make us happy, or some understanding that nothing in this world, no matter what it is, will really make us happy. And it takes some humility. Because those who aren't humble, they'll always think, one more time, I'm going to try one more time, I have a plan. I'm going to get there. The gambler's thinking, next time I roll the dice, I'm going to win. So they think that there's some way that they'll, win in the material world, but they're not. That's because they're not humble. They haven't actually had the introspection to understand that something's missing. Actually, one of the first principles of one particular organization, it's a 12-step organization, it's Alcoholics Anonymous. And what they say is that first thing that you have to admit that there's some power beyond you that's controlling you, and that you have no control ultimately without this power. And that, they define the power as you like, but they're meaning God. So that one has to actually accept that I can't do it myself, only God can do it. Only Krishna can actually fill the void in the heart. Some people, they've even used this analogy that there's always a God-shaped hole in the heart. Unless we have Krishna there, unless we accept Krishna there, to one degree or another, we can never be fulfilled. Now, we may think this is just because we're very conditioned and that we're so fallen that's for us only. But actually, we see that this principle of not feeling fulfilled unless one actually comes to pure devotional service is seen even in great devotees. And the one devotee who comes to mind, that came to mind to me, it's the story of Vyasadeva and his frustration with the fact that even though he had done so much service, compiling the 4 Vedas, compiling the Mahabharata, compiling all this wonderful Vedic knowledge, he still felt that something was missing in his life because he hadn't actually spoken directly about the glories of Krishna. So if we go to Canto 1, Chapter 4, and beginning with verse 26, this is when Narada will come. Actually, Narada is appeared in this chapter. It's the first introduction of Narada in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he's going to, there's a meeting. This is at very end of the chapter. And this is when Narada will meet Vyasadeva. And this will segue into the next chapter where Narada gives instructions to Vyasadeva that if you're dissatisfied, the reason you're dissatisfied is you haven't included Krishna. In all your works, you have not completely described the glories of the Lord. So in all our work, we'll always be unhappy unless we turn towards pure devotional service as given to us by Srila Prabhupada, even though, personally I have no qualifications. So, I'll just read the English because there's several verses, and there are very short purports here. I'm going to read portions of them because they're very, the word would be pithy. A few sentences say a lot. So, beginning with verse number 26. O twice-born Brahmanas, Still his mind was not satisfied, although he engaged himself in working for the total welfare of all people. And Prabhupada writes, Sri Vyasadeva was not satisfied with himself, although he had prepared literatures of Vedic value for the all-around welfare of the general mass of people. It was expected that he would be satisfied by such activities, but ultimately he was not satisfied. Even though he compiled all these different literatures for the benefit of people. Thus the sage, being dissatisfied at heart, at once began to reflect. This is important. We need to reflect on who we are, what we're doing, how we're doing, unless there's self-reflection in Krishna consciousness, we can't make real advancement. We can't just simply be, Maharaj uses the example of niyamagraha, of just doing stuff kind of in a ritualistic way and thinking it's going to work. Of course, we have to do things. It's not that we just become introspective and don't follow the process. We need to be introspective and follow the process. Thus, the sage, being dissatisfied at heart, at once began to reflect, because he knew the essence of religion, and he said within himself, and Prabhupada writes in the purport, the sage began to search out the cause of not being satisfied at heart. Perfection is never attained until one is satisfied at heart. This satisfaction of heart has to be searched out beyond matter. You never find satisfaction by trying to make a material adjustment. Prabhupada would talk about how everybody's trying to make a material adjustment. And then he says, I have under strict disciplinary vows unpretentiously worshipped the Vedas, the spiritual master, and the altar of sacrifice. I have also abided by the rulings and have shown the import of disciplic succession through the explanation of the Mahabharata, by which even women, Shudras, and others, friends of the twice-born, can see the path of religion. I am feeling incomplete, though I myself am fully equipped with everything required by the Vedas. And then Prabhupada writes, undoubtedly Srila Vyasadeva was complete in all the details of Vedic achievements. He's complete in all the details of Vedic achievements. We don't have any of that. As Prabhupada said, I am your good fortune. I mean, what are we before we're devotees? Purification of the living being submerged in matter is made possible by prescribed activities in the Vedas, but the ultimate achievement is different. The ultimate achievement is different than simply understanding the Vedas and following the process. I mean, Ramananda Roy and Lord Chaitanya, that long conversation begins with, Ramananda Roy describing Varnashram. This is the sort of like the nuts and bolts of spiritual life. It's the basis. But Lord Chaitanya said, no, it's something beyond that. And ultimately they get to pure love of God in the Madhurya mood of the gopis and ultimately Radharani. Unless it is attained, this ultimate achievement, the living being, even though fully equipped, cannot be situated in the transcendentally normal stage. Our normal stage is to be transcendentally in love with Krishna. This is not the normal stage here. Srila Vyasadeva appeared to have lost the clue and therefore felt dissatisfaction. Everyone has lost the clue, as Prabhupada said here. They don't know, in other words, they don't know what's going on. And the normal stage is not to be full of lust, anger, and greed, anxiety, depression, hatred, etc. The normal condition is to feel ecstatic love for God and to be in association with Him eternally. This may be because I did not specifically point out, that's why I don't feel good, the devotional service of the Lord which is dear both to perfect beings and to the infallible Lord. And then Prabhupada writes, the dissatisfaction which was being felt by Srila Vyasadeva is expressed herein in his own words. This was felt for the normal condition of the living being in devotional service of the Lord. Unless one is fixed in the normal condition of service, neither the Lord nor the living being can become fully satisfied. Krishna wants us to take up devotional service so that we can have a relationship with him. More than we really want to have a relationship with him because of our present condition. This defect was felt by him. When Narada Muni, his spiritual master, reached him, it is described as follows. It's important to note that Vyasadeva is getting these realizations in association with his spiritual master. Like we said, Ahurva Muktes, that verse which says that we must associate with saintly persons in order to make advancement in Krishna consciousness. As mentioned before, Narada reached the cottage of Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas on the banks of the Saraswati just as Vyasadeva was regretting his defects. And Prabhupada writes, the vacuum felt by Vyasadeva was not due to his lack of knowledge. Bhagavad Dharma is purely devotional service of the Lord to which the monist has no access. It's not knowledge. Knowledge is important to get us to understand what the goal is. But the goal isn't knowledge. Although Vyasadeva was an empowered divinity, he still felt dissatisfaction because none of his works were the transcendental activities of the Lord properly explained. The inspiration was infused by Sri Krishna directly in the heart of Vyasadeva, and thus he felt the vacuum as explained above. It is definitely expressed herewith that without the transcendental loving service of the Lord, everything is void. But in the transcendental service of the Lord, everything is tangible without any separate attempt at fruit of work or empiric philosophical speculation. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana kamarninapatam. We have to come to this platform. And we come to this platform even though, as it states, that these women, they had soiled clothing. We all have we're a mess. But when Krishna comes into our lives, he even accepts us who are messes and allows us to engage in pure devotional service. The examples here, these girls, these women, they were a mess. They were lost. But Krishna at once took them. More important to be one of those girls who was lost than to be a big scholar of the Vedas, because the big scholar of the Vedas still has this conception, the Abhiman, I'm a big scholar, I'll figure it all out. These girls had this idea of like, I'm lost, but here he is to save me. And they had engaged in devotional service. It's important to understand. We're lost, we engage in devotional service, Krishna comes to save us through the spiritual master. In our case, we were lost, we had no idea. The spiritual master, he came to us somehow or other, either through listening to the radio or taking prasadam or wandering into a Sunday feast as I did and saying, but these pakoras are great. Somehow or other we come in contact with Krishna and he saves us from our own imperfect selves and allows us to engage in devotional service. Srila Prabhupada's mercy. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions? Okay.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalayataksham Bharavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Asa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham
Namahum Vishnu Pataya Krishna Prastaya Putane Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Namanichi Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacha Ne Nivesesha Shunyavani Vasacha Desatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaur Bhaktarinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasade Gaurabhaktavrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasade Gaurabhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Golokanana Rana, Golokanana Radhe. Jaya Radha, Golokanana Rana, Golokanana Radhe. Jaya Radha, hey, Jaya Radhe. Hey, Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. Radhe, Jai Om Vishnu Pad. Paramahansa.
Chaito Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. Radha's so sweet. Sarvatmasnapanam Harmijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapitani Amita Smarane Nakala Etad Rishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Dordaiva Midrisham Hajani Nanuraga Trinada Pisunichena Tarora Pisahishuna Amani Namana Dena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktyo Haitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam mam vishame bhavam buddha. Kripaya tavapada pankaja stita duli sadrishim vichintaya nayanam garadashu daraya varanam gadgadaridaya gira pulakarnishitam vapukada tava namagrahane bhavishyati yugayatam namishena chakshusha pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishyavapadamratam Manastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatatava Vidadatulam Patomat Prananatastu Saeva Napara. Victory to Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you, holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your cause's devotional service birth after birth. O Samaraj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from you like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he's always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Shri Shastri Ki Jai.